Hey there. So, been struggling with this thing. Let me tell you what I'm up to. In the process of creating a playlist on our YouTube channel, the RockSalt YouTube channel. On this playlist, it's called A Minute with Mike. And so far, I'm already 30 seconds into this one, so it's going to be longer than a minute. Uh, but I want to give you a brief history, really, of what rock salt is and why we do what we do. Um, and going to talk a little bit about what we want to do with this particular playlist. So, Rock Salt Ministries started really about 1977 or 78. I was playing music. We were living in Southern California at the time, making a very long story very short. And I wanted to get involved more with, I was playing music and I wanted to get more involved with the contemporary Christian music scene that was going on. So we moved to Huntington Beach. We attended Calvary Chapel down there in Costa Mesa, and also became I became part of the Maranatha Musicians Fellowship, which was a I guess kind of intended to be a small group of Calvary Chapel's musicians, but it was a very large group of people. And so we did that for a while, and I got the idea of this thing about rock salt. It wasn't called Ministries; I called it Rock Salt Services, and I would wanted to well, uh, kind of like maybe a management agency. I didn't know what I was really thinking, but I knew a lot of people were having trouble trying to get into the music ministry and trying to do recordings and trying to travel and running into all kinds of problems. And so I thought, well, I can help. I had no idea how I was going to help, but hey, you know, I had good intentions. Uh, we ended up moving to Orlando area, and we stayed there for a while. And then along about 1987, we were doing a radio show called Cry for Life, and on the Christian radio station down there. And my wife and I, Kathleen, can't leave Kathleen out or I'll get in trouble, big trouble. So it was really Kathleen's radio show, and I would uh, kind of be her straight guy. I would, interject comments and ask people questions at interviews. We would interview people and stuff. So one day, we were talking with one of our guests, and he said, "Hey, I know this mission down in Bolivia that they're building an orphanage and a church, and they really need some help." And we make a very long story short, we not long after that ended up in Bolivia as Rock Salt Ministries. And we were so excited, so zealous. I got so sick. I mean, when somebody says, "I almost died," I almost died. And we came back to the States. We were there less than a year. We spent 2 years in the States, turned around, regrouped, reorganized Rock Salt Ministries, raised a little support so we wouldn't starve to death. And we went back this time to La Paz, Bolivia, airport 13,000 feet above sea level. It's getting up there. And it's also the capital city of Bolivia. It's up there in the highlands of Bolivia, up in the Andes Mountains. So we spent 10 years there. We had a program for burned children, where we would take children who had been burned in the United States for treatment. It was a common thing, unfortunately, there because they had a lot of open flames for cooking and for producing light, and so forth. And so children would get burned, and so we would take them Usually, I would transport them to the United States and drop them off, and then I would travel around while I was in the States and maybe bring another burn kid back with me when I went back to Bolivia. So um, we left there in the spring of 2000, came back to the United States. Another very long story short, I ended up on staff at the Vineyard Church here in Dayton. I was the missions pastor because I'd been missionary. So they said, "Well, we'll make you the missions pastor." And so I kind of invented what my role was. But basically, I would organize short term missions and take people on some of them or just prepare people to go on these short term missions. And anytime we had missionaries coming in and stuff, I would be involved in that. So I did other things too, not important. And so, another long story short, I ended up starting a church in the Vineyard organization. We did that for 18 years, I think. And then we just realized in our hearts, and we still have the small congregation, it's still going. But we realized in our hearts that we weren't really a church, we were a mission. And it just came to me, I spent 15 years developing and working rock salt, and I had it going. And so we just revived rock salt and brought it up out of the ashes. And at 70 years old, it's kind of like starting over. I should have done this 10 years ago, right? Would have been a lot easier. So, in a nutshell, that's what we're about. We have a burden for orphans and widows and everybody else. So we hope you understand that includes you. So if you ever have any questions, you can go to our website, rocksalt.org, and you can contact us from there. And we'll get right back with you as soon as we can. You can find out more about Rock Salt Ministries there, a little bit more detail about what we were doing. And I'm going to do some more of these minutes. This is now 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay. But we're going to do more of these. I promise that the next ones will probably be more brief in this playlist called A Minute with Mike. Okay. And so, what we're going to do in a minute with Mike is I'm just going to share my heart and my thoughts and insight that I have seen in the scriptures and things that are burning in my heart. Just going to share my heart with you, and might get the guitar out, play a little music every now and then, play a song. Um, may interview someone. There's just a whole lot of different things uh, that we might do there. We'll see how it goes, right? So, thank you for hanging in there for these 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And it was a long minute. I'm sorry. But Rock Salt Ministries, that's it in a nutshell. And like I said, rocksalt.org. Org. Okay. And you can get in touch with us there. We'd love to hear from you. Okay. God, Lord bless you. May He keep you. May He cause His face to shine on you and give you peace. I love you, man. Bye.